Hello everyone! Today we're once again going to redesign mobs into Skibidi mobs. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The first one on the list is the Warden. Here it is running. I'll use it to make a Titan speaker. It seems like a pretty good idea to me to take it as a mob. We'll remove its horns and modify its body. It won't need them anymore. Cameramen won't need horns. Now we're moving everything to the right places and extending its arms. We're moving the arms and legs higher and starting to create a head for it. Since it's going to be a camera, we need to make it longer and sleeker. The Warden's head is too big for this purpose. Now we start coloring it, painting its legs, body, arms, absolutely everything. We'll also add details since it's a costume, so we're doing it all. Let's not forget about gloves and footwear. They are important details too. After all of this, we can move on to detailing the camera. We're adding cameras and coloring them as well. In addition to these cameras, there will also be cameras on the shoulders. We're trying to make everything as similar as possible. We'll paint those cameras too and continue refining the legs since we haven't finished all of their parts. After that, we'll see how it looks in the game. I think you'll like it. He looks healthy. I think it turned out very well. What do you think? Do you like it? Personally, I do. Now, we'll take the wither, build its spawn, and spawn it. Here it is flying. I think it will make an excellent Skibidi bomber. We start, as always, with the body. First, we modify its body. We need to create the initial shape and wings. But for now, let's paint a small part of its body and start working on the wings. After all, what's a Skibidi bomber without wings? After all of this, we'll paint the wings a bit and start shaping the head. There might not be as many robots as the previous mob, but still. After all of this, we'll start making the rockets. Later on, we'll make them part of it, but for now, we'll place them at the back and add suspensions to the wings. His texture doesn't suit rockets, so we'll paint them as well. Now, let's start making the suspensions for the wings. Now, we begin to create the rocket itself. We'll tweak its shape a bit and paint it in the color we need. We also won't forget about the details and see how it looks in the game. It turned out quite well, wouldn't you agree? It flies as a Skibidi bomber should and also attacks its targets with rockets. Now we'll create the Skibidi scientist. We'll use a regular skeleton for this. I think it's suitable. And since robots will be scarce, it shouldn't be too difficult to make. We reshape its body and form the toilet. After all, it's going to resemble a regular Skibidi toilet. We'll also add details and paint everything. Now we're shaping a robotic arm for it, which will protrude from the toilet tank. We're almost done. Let's take a look at this in the game. Previous models were better, but it looks fine overall. Now, we'll take these wonderful friends and turn them into speaker heads. I think it will be cool. Let's start the process. We're moving everything to the right places and can start painting everything right away. Next, we'll work on the body. We're making it wider. After all, it's supposed to be healthy. It shouldn't look skinny. We're elongating its body along with its arms. Now we'll paint everything. It'll have a shirt on. Next, we'll work on its legs. We're also starting to paint the legs, making shoes for it, and adding more details to the shirt. We'll add a belt, a lovely red tie, and gloves. Then we'll start working on turning its head into a speaker. After lengthening its head, we'll start painting it and adding details. Let's see how it looks in the game. I think the crossbows are a bit distracting, but overall, it turned out pretty cool, and most importantly, they're roughly the same size. Now, we'll take a regular creeper. Its face reminds me of a Skibidi bandit, so let's make it just like that. Let's move to block bench. So the work won't be much different from the Skibidi scientist. As usual, we start with the body. We completely dismantle it and then gradually begin to shape the toilet. Later, we'll paint it while we're working on its lower part. Would you like the toilet to resemble a creeper? Personally, I'm not too keen on that idea. We're finishing it up now. There's just a small part left. We'll attach it to the toilet tank, and now we'll start painting everything. In principle, we've painted everything now, and the work is done. As far as I understand, this is all that's required. At least I don't know what else to add. What do you think? Let's take a look at it in the game quickly. I don't even know what to say. How do you like it overall? Now they can be set on fire and explode, but I think it's time to move on to the next mob. We'll need a magma cube for the jetpack Skibidi Toilet then. We're taking it apart into pieces. We have a challenging task ahead of us since there will be many details we need to create. I like the idea that it will jump, and it will somewhat resemble jetpack flight. We're finishing the stand and starting to paint it, but there's still much more to do. After painting everything, we need to create the head. We'll leave it as a small lava cube for now, and then we'll work on the details. Here we start working on them. Honestly, I'm not even sure what to call them. Maybe some sort of protective screens? Well, they are present in the picture, so it doesn't really matter what they are. We'll create them anyway. Now we need to do the same thing at the front. They won't just be on the sides, but we won't do the same at the back. There should be a nozzle there theoretically, but for now, we'll make holders for it. We'll just attach everything to both sides of the waste tank. But for now, these are still holders. Later on, we'll create proper jetpack nozzles. I'm already curious to see it. After all, I've never done anything like this before. Let's take a look. Let's go to the game. I see that it's of a pretty good size, and it does indeed jump. I like how it looks too. Perhaps of all the mobs we've worked on, this one is my favorite based on the video. Let's take an Enderman. I think it will be perfect to turn it into a TV man. What do you think? Now we need to change its body structure a bit. Endermen have 2 thin limbs. But for now, we'll just slightly reduce its height and remove the excess. Next, we'll need to work on its head. It should transform into a TV. We'll also remember to paint it. It will have a costume, so we'll paint its body black. Next, we'll likely work on the costume details like shoes, arms, and gloves. Now, we start working on its head entirely. We need to create a frame and paint it. Later, we'll work on the screen glitches, and let's not forget to add buttons on the costume. Let's see how it looks in the game. I'm not sure what's up with their eye glitches, but overall, we did the screen glitches quite well. What do you think? They still steal blocks like regular Endermen. And here's what we've got overall. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It's essential for us. I'll add from myself that this work isn't easy, and your likes will motivate us to continue creating more. Please, leave your comments and let us know which one you like the most. And we'll say goodbye to you now. Until we meet again in the next video, goodbye everyone. By the way, don't forget to write down which mobs we should redesign next. We'll be reading everything.